so that we can have some peace of mind, have our meeting. So let me mute everybody. All right, so you are all muted now. Okay, so some update is going to be a little deeper and a bit comprehensive, so please pay attention. We started with your permanent labor certification. And for those who have just received their PERM, I want to quickly do a quick recap. So that you know where we are, what it means, and what to expect next. The PERM, which full name is Program Electronic Review Management Process, is a crucial step for employers seeking to sponsor foreign workers for green cards in the United States. It involves a labor certification process where the U.S. Department of Labor, DOL, verifies that no qualified U.S. workers are available or willing so that it involves a labor certification process where the U.S. Department of Labor verifies that no qualified U.S. workers are available and willing to fill the job, and that foreign workers' employment won't negatively impact U.S. workers' wages and working conditions. This process is administered by the Department of Labor and is a prerequisite for filing an immigrant visa petition with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS. Okay, so that is why it's important to file PERM for everyone. Now, the PERM filing process, just a summary of the detail. First, recruitment and attestation. The employer must conduct a recruitment campaign to search for qualified U.S. workers for the position. So first, recruitment and attestation must be done in the U.S. first. This includes posting job openings in various places and advertising the position. The recruitment process must be conducted within 6 months of the filing the PERM application. So in other words, you cannot take a recruitment drive, an unsuccessful recruitment drive you did in the US 2 years ago to justify a PERM application today. It has to be no more than 6 months. The employer must attest that they cannot find qualified US worker for the position. So for all of you here, we have recruited for CNAs, and many CNAs are going to recruit, many of them that are in the pipeline. We have already justified to the appropriate authorities in the US that there aren't enough US CNAs for the jobs. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, type yes in the chat. Can you all hear me? Thank you so much. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so the first is to do the recruitment in the US. Second, PERM application filing. And the employer submits a form 9089, application for permanent labor certification to the Department of Labor. Please be taking note of some of these things, because someday you will have to go to a visa interview at the U.S. Department of Labor. Some of these things are among the questions you may be answering during the visa interview. Okay. Now, this form includes detailed information about the job offer, the required qualifications, and the recruitment efforts undertaken by the employer already in the U.S. When the application is filed, it goes through a review and certification. So the Department of Labor reviews the PERM application to ensure it meets the requirement and that the employer has conducted a fair and reasonable recruitment process. If the application is approved, the Department of Labor issues a labor certification, which is valid for 180 days from the day it is approved. So all those that had received confirmation of their approval of PERM, your 180 days have started counting already. So you don't have much time, but to quickly file the next processes for you. After the approval, we go to the next stage, number 4, which is USCIS petition. After obtaining the labor certification, and by the way, one step back, approval means there is a labor certification for each of you. Those that have been approved, we have received a labor certification for each of you. And don't ask me if you want to see a copy of yours. You will never see a copy of yours. We reserve the right to keep it away from you. Okay. Then the stage 4, which is the USCIS petition. After obtaining the labor certification, the employer now will file a form called Form I-140. And the name of that form is Immigrant Petition for Alien Worker. And we file that form on your behalf at the U.S. Immigration Service, the USCIS. This petition requires that the foreign worker be classified as an immigrant worker. And be allowed to enter the U.S. to work in the position. The I-140 petition must be submitted to the USCIS within the 180-day validity period of the labor certification. So, clock is ticking for you. After we file the form I-140 for you, USCIS will review and provide approval. USCIS reviews the I-140 petition and the accompanying labor certification. If the petition is approved, the foreign worker is eligible to now apply for a green card. So after PERM, we go to I-140. After I-140, we now file for your green card. The green card is a visa issued by the Immigration Service permitting you to come and live in the U.S. permanent. Okay. Now, important consideration, the PERM process can be lengthy and complex, potentially taking 11 to 12 months or longer periods, depending on the factors like audits. It is crucial to avoid audit triggers during the recruitment and application process. Ensuring that the foreign worker meets the required qualifications and that the job offer is legitimate are essential for a successful PERM application. So this is where we love the US system. It is practically impossible for anybody to do a sham recruitment in the US. Otherwise, you'll not get a PERM approval. You'll not get the USCIS I-140 approval, and so on and so forth. So once the Department of Labor has approved your PERM, they have done a lot of checks. Now, the second point is crucial to avoid audit triggers. And here, audit triggers are things that trigger audit. There can be several things, but notably among them is a certificate you provide us and we'll do the filing on your behalf, especially your high school diploma. We have had a number of challenges with most of you, your high school diploma. We still have some. And sometimes you have to take our time and quietly go to WIAC, do our independent checks, because if we don't do it, the US Department of Labor is going to do it. And that can delay the process or can trigger an audit. That can even lead to denial. Okay. Now, when we started last year, the PERM approval process was sometimes 6 months to 8 months. But you can imagine now it's taking sometimes 12 months and even sometimes more than 12 months for the approval to come. Checking your PERM status. And this is important. It is your responsibility as an applicant to be checking your PERM status. I've tried to teach you how to do it, but today I really want to teach you how to be doing it. To check your PERM status, you simply visit the Department of Labor website via the link below. And this link has been placed on the page already. You will need your case number, and everyone now has their case numbers except 15 or so. And that, there are over 180 plus of you have received your PERM case numbers. I simply put in your case number and then check the I am not a robot box, and then you click on search. You will get the results instantly. So why don't we demonstrate that now? So I'm going to share my screen. Don't worry. I know I've stopped sharing my screen. I want to make sure you can see my screen. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. So I'm resharing my screen. So on your screen now, I am on the Department of Labor website to check your PERM status. So when you click on the link I provided on the page, it will bring you to this site, US Department of Labor. And this is an official website of the United States government. You see case status PERM search or case status search. I want to read for those my nurses who never like reading. He says, enter up to 30 case numbers first, one per line. An example is given. Then click on the I am not a robot check box below. Completion of a valid reCAPTCHA, if displayed, is required to enable the search feature. Please refresh the page if you are seeing this message and the reCAPTCHA section did not display. So if you check on this is the reCAPTCHA page, this screen, where with the box, if there's no show, you just need to refresh your page. So now I go to the Excel sheet I shared. I want to check for the first on my Excel sheet, Laurentia or Tim. I copy and paste her case number. And then I click on I am not a robot. Then I click on search. In a few minutes, bam. So this is says case search details showing one-of-one results. Visa program PERM, case number, and it's the one I pasted. Employer name United Methodist Homes and Services. Job title nursing assistant. Submit date February 25, 2025, and status analyst review. Okay. So it is your responsibility to be doing this regularly. You need to be doing this regularly, especially now that your numbers are increasing. It becomes difficult for us to be checking for you, but we know you can be checking yourself. From our end, I can do 30 at a go. So I copy the number of PERMs I've just copied the number of PERMs. You can see, let me see how many I've copied. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so 10 PERMs. 10 case numbers. I click on check, I'm not a robot. I do a search, and then bam, all the 10 case, you see the results are in. So you see all has been filed. And this is a proof to you, to all of you, that we have filed your PERMs. Filing your PERM means now your documents, i.e. your WASI certificate, your CV, your CNA certificate you received after passing the final CNA exams, your transcript, birth certificate, passport, and all the documents we took from you is now firmly with the United States government. And for that matter, you need to be careful with what you say and what you do, especially on social media. We are a kind of people who just say things anyhow. I promise you, whatever you say on social media is kept one day to be asked of you. So be careful. All right, so the 10 I've searched for all 5. Now you will notice you only use case numbers, you don't use your name. And in the filing, the people who work on the cases, the government department in the US, they don't use your name, they use your case numbers. It ensures independence, fairness of judgment, no biasness, favoritism, or prejudicial judgments. Okay, so this is how you'll be checking your PERMs. It is your responsibility to be checking your PERMs. Now let me go back to my presentation. We have a lot of grounds to cover today. Now, before I go, there had been rare instances where you will check your PERMs and you will have an unexpected status. For example, I remember somewhere last year, Addo Prince, that one too, I was in the Philippines when Addo sent me messages that she checked the status of her PERM and it shows withdrawn. one fine morning, well, it was morning at my end. I'm sure it was midnight. Oh, no, it was daytime at Agua's end. And it was midnight at my end. She called and called and called. She was not getting me. And her PERM status was withdrawn. And I quickly checked with the lawyers who did the filing, and they explained sometimes when they do the filing, it's a law firm and you have layers, system of internal control. And so somebody did a quality control and they realized there was a problem. So they themselves decided to withdraw the PERM and do a new filing. This time we have another case like that. Among all the 100 and something plus, one person's case has been withdrawn. I have sent a message to the lawyers. I'm waiting for feedback. But I am saying this publicly so that the person know and have the assurance that it does happen once in a while where the lawyers themselves withdraw. This withdrawal is not the United States government, but it's we who did the filing, the lawyers who did the filing. They have decided maybe there's something they didn't do right. They have to withdraw and refile. And remember, we don't take it kindly to the lawyers if your PERMs are not approved. We are paying $2,000 for each of you, your PERM. So they also have a responsibility that they make sure things are done properly to ensure approval. If there should be a denial, it should not be their fault. So, Madam Listener, please take heart. I assure you very soon I will have a feedback, but most importantly, it will be refiled. It will be refiled, and I'll send you the case number and the confirmation letter. All right. Now that is done, let's go back to our presentation. All right. So I have shown you how to check your PERM status. You see the screen. When you click on the link, you put in the case number, you click on I am not a robot, and then you do the search, and you get a result like that. Okay. Now, on your PERM, those who receive the confirmation letters, oh no, Akosia says the name again. I'm not telling you the name, but there's somebody here. So if you are not sure, if you have not checked your PERM status, it may be you. Check your PERM status. But we already know the fellow, so no cause for alarm for anybody else. All right. So on the PERM letter, oh, come on, the sisters website is on the page. Please check the page, it's been there. Now, on the PERM status letter, and for those whose PERM have been approved, now you should pay attention. There's something called priority date on your PERM confirmation letter. Let me see if I can get one to show you. Just a second. There's something called priority date. And I remember when the PERM confirmation started coming, a lot of you started asking, "Sir, what is the priority date? What is it meant for?" And I told you, wait. At that time, when I explained it, you won't get it. This is the best time for you to get it. Okay, so this like an example of invoice we pay. This is 7 applicants, and 2,000 times 7 is $14,000. We have to pay the lawyers. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted to show you. Sorry. Oh, come on. So normally after the invoice, you see the confirmation letters for each applicant. Just a second. Let me see if I can just grab one and show you so that you see what I mean by priority date. And you know, having worked with you guys for some time now, I'm beginning to see a pattern. One, we don't like reading. And so the answer will be in front of us. We want to ask, if only but to read. I remember when the approval started coming and people wanted to check their status, and everybody started contacting me. So I need my case number. I said, I've sent you your case number again. They said, no, I don't have my case number. Oh my God. Okay, so this is an example of a PERM confirmation letter. And I normally take a scan of this and send it to you. On the confirmation letter, you see ETA case number. So this is your case number. Then the foreign worker's name, in this case, Naomi Telko Owari, who can now marry. And then occupation title, nursing assistant. Occupation code 31-1131. Now this, I will explain what that is some days to come. When I explain it that time, you'll understand it. If I explain it today, you won't get it, I promise you. Now, the date I was referring to is this date, priority date. Okay, priority date. So let's go back to my presentation, and I want to talk about priority date on your PERM case filing. And I pray you pay attention, because when you come back, I will not mind you again. So what is your PERM priority date? When an employer files an immigrant petition after the PERM approval, the form I-140 on behalf of an employee, a priority date is established based on the date the petition is filed with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service. Now, don't jump into conclusion yet. It's not as simple and straightforward like that. The priority date is crucial because it establishes the foreign worker's place in the queue for an immigrant visa, that is the green card, in categories subject to an annual numerical limit. Let me try to explain this. So the US government every year allocates a number of visas globally, and then a number of visas per country. So there's a global number of visas the US government issues to bring in foreign workers like you to the US. And then out of the global total, they also sub-allocate certain number to countries. So Ghana has a certain percentage of the global total of visas. Now this, most people do not know. Because if they do know, when we started recruiting people to the US right from day one, people will not start tagging us, oh, it's a scam, it's a scam. It's not possible to get a visa to go to the US. No. the US government has an allocation of visas for workers, and we're going to see some very soon. Now, so the priority date is crucial because it establishes a foreign worker's place in the queue for an immigrant visa in categories subject to annual numerical limits. So let's say Ghana has 700 visas every year. And that's actually the real number, 700 visas every year for all categories of work, in fact, for nurses in particular. And out of that 700 is, yes, now I said 700 is the number for Ghana. And everybody will say, oh, looking at the people on this page, oh, we are just 700, we are less than 700, so everybody should get a visa to go. In fact, it's not as simple as that. That 700 visa covers you, the applicant, your legally married spouse, and all your children. And most of you are like me, your family, you are able to raise a football team in your house. So you, the applicant, the CNA, you get a green card. Your husband will get the same green card as you are getting because it's your dependent. Your children, if there are 5 of them, each of them get the same visas. So 700, by the time you realize, by the time we issue visas to 10 nurses plus their large families, the 700 visas are gone. When the 700 visas are gone, and we still have a number of nurses outstanding to receive their visas, there's they hit what we call a cut-off date. So they cannot get visas that year to go. So they have to wait for the following year when the US government now issue a new set of visas. When there's that delay, because there aren't enough visas for the applicant, there's a term called retrogression. That is when retrogression now begins. Retrogression now sets in. So to ensure that even if there's retrogression for 10, 20, 100 years, nobody jumps you in your pew. As soon as we file the PERM, a certain date is assigned, and that date is called your priority date. So please bear that in mind. Now, this priority date, this date becomes particularly significant in the final stages of the green card application process, where individuals may have to wait for their priority date to become current before they can proceed with the last step of green card application, such as filing Form I-145 from I-1485. Now, those of you in Ghana who you will not be filing this one, there's a separate form we'll file for you. Okay, but those who are already in the US legally, but they don't have the green card, and then they go through the same process like you, the PERM, the I-140 and everything. When it is approved, now there's a form file for them called Form I-485, and it's adjustment of status or application to register permanent residence or adjust status. Now, but before we can do this, we need to establish your position in the queue. So all those whose PERM has been approved, you check your priority date, and you find that date there. That date tells you something. And it is explained on this next slide, the visa bulletin. The visa bulletin published monthly by the US Department of State outlines the current priority date cutoffs for each category and country, determining when applicants can proceed with their final green card applications there. So there's something called visa bulletin. What is that? The Visa Bulletin is a monthly publication by the U.S. Department of State that outlines visa availability for different immigrant categories and countries, helping applicants determine when they can move forward in the green card application process. It essentially acts as a guide to the queue for green card applications, listing priority dates that indicate when an applicant can take the next step in their application. So we've submitted an application, like the first 50 people, we submitted an application for your PERM. A priority date was established. And it has taken so long a time, the approval has come. When you check your priority date, it's somewhere 16th November 2023. Your PERM application has now come. We are now going to file for your USCIS. Let's say we file the next month or the next 2 months. Let's say June, we have filed 1st June 2025, we have filed for your from I-140. And then we pay premium processing. In a short period, the approval comes. And then we need to move to the next step. The next step is application for adjustments of status or application to register your permanent residence in the US. And then once we do that, you will now get your green card. Somebody will ask, sir, since my approval came 2025, do I have, and there are a lot of backlogs of visa applicants before my application came in 2025. How long am I going to wait? The answer is your priority date. So we checked the visa bulletin, and somebody told me it is now somewhere, it has reached to 2022 or 2023. If it is today, the visa bulletin comes and it is November 2023, and your form I-140 had been approved. What it means is your priority date is now current. Move ahead, we'll file for your adjustment of status or register your permanent residence. You get your green card, immediately you go for your visa interview, and then you leave for the US. Okay, so I hope you got it. So a bit of the visa bulletin. What is it? It's the visa bulletin is a list of priority dates for immigrant visa applicants, showing when their green card application can be processed. How it works, the bulletin uses a queue system where applicants are placed in a line based on the application filing date. That is the priority date. The priority date, the date when the application for green card has been filed. Okay, now the date when the green card application has been filed. But for those who will first file their PERM, your priority date is actually not the date when your green card application is filed, but the date assigned to your PERM application as priority date on your confirmation letter. Okay, dates for filing, the dates listed in the bulletin that indicate when an applicant can file for the next stage of application process. Example, adjustment of status or immigrant visa. Final action date, the date that indicate when an applicant case may actually be processed, and a decision made on their application. How to use it? Applicant can use the visa bulletin to check their position in the queue and determine when they can submit the application for adjustment of status or immigrant visa. Who uses it? The visa bulletin is used by applicants for green card. They are sponsors, in this case, lawyers, your employer, and immigrant attorneys to track the progress of applicants. Now, Understanding PERM priority date. In the context of PERM, the priority date for PERM labor certification technically refers to the date when the PERM is filed with the Department of Labor. In practice, the priority date for the PERM gets locked in once the Form I-140 petition is approved. This is the date. This date will then determine when the Form I-485 green card application can be filed. So, to cut a long story short, because we used PERM to start your process, your priority date is the priority date on the PERM confirmation letter, and it is not when the green card is filed. But it is not automatic. A priority date on your PERM confirmation letter only becomes activated or get logged in when the Form I-140 is filed and approved for you. So let's say we file your Form I-140 1st June 2025, and it takes 100 years for it to be approved. You are not now going to wait for all those who have come before you to go before you go. No. We check your priority date on your PERM. If it is 2023 and 2023 is current, although your priority, your I-140 was approved 100 years later, your priority date is current. So you go file your green card, get approved, you go for your interview, and you are gone. All right. Now, I hope you have understood it, but for the first time, it's going to be Momorankafra. Just take your time. You're going to hear it a lot from now onwards, and gradually it will become clear to you. You can also Google it and read about it, but be sure you are reading from the right source. There are too many chaffs in the system these days. Now, after your PERM approval, once the Department of Labor issues the certification, the employer can then file an immigrant visa petition with the USCIS. As I'm talking to you now, the lawyers are gathering the necessary documentations for the first 63 whose PERM has been approved. There are more to come. Francisca Bankwa, David Asum, that group, you are next in line. In fact, there is a system used in checking, just like you can check the Department of State in the US issue visa bulletin every month. When it comes to PERM, there isn't a visa bulletin for the PERM, but there's a way, there are some websites that are able to track when the PERM approval becomes current. And I know Rosalind and the people and their friends, they have mastered their craft in determining which date it has reached to. In fact, the first 50 people, I doff my hat to you. You are so matured. You are so matured. You are so patient. Once they understood the system, they become relaxed. And when some of you are making noise on the page, they try to teach you, but you only listen. I pray you go back to some of the comments they posted because it's so essential for you to learn. You were so busily typing, I wanted to use some unchristian language. And they try to calm you down and tell you, no, you should go here, check this, check this. Oh, no. Checking that for what? Okay. Form I-140. Form I-140. The Form I-140 immigrant petition for an alien worker is a form submitted to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS, or you hear me say Immigration Service. their full name is United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, by a prospective employer to petition an alien. An alien doesn't mean you have come out of space. It means you're a foreigner, to work in the US on a permanent basis. This is done in the case when the worker is deemed extraordinary in some sense, or when qualified workers do not exist in the US. Now, to explain the detail of the Form I-140, I tried to search on the internet and find the simplest place we can get. And thank God for Wikipedia. Somebody had done some good job on Wikipedia for you. So let's see. I'll share the link on Wikipedia with you guys, and I want you to go there to read. But before we even go to Wikipedia, let's see what that form looks like, what the form actually looks like. So just give me a second. Esther Rabiatu, I've seen your message. You said your PERM has been redrawn. No, it was redrawn that time and it was refiled. I send you a new PERM case number. Use it to check confirmation. Now, on your screen now is the almighty Form I-140. Instructions for petition for alien workers, Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. And anytime they give you this form, check on the right-hand side, there's an expiration date always on the form, so that you make sure you are using the correct form, you are signing the correct form. So this form is very current. It expires 28 February 2026. And the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is like Ghana's Ministry of Interior. And they take their time to explain what is the purpose of Form I-140. A petitioner may file Form I-140 petition for alien workers with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service for an employment-based immigrant visa. Who may file the Form I-40? A U.S. employer may file this petition, and for what is there. General instructions is also provided. You need to provide evidence, you need to pay fees, and so on and so forth. It's on the form. And then how to complete the Form I-140. Type or print legibly in black ink. And it goes on to explain everything about that. General requirement, initial evidence. It's a comprehensive document. It's about 11 pages. Okay, and it deals with everything. I am not going to attempt to explain everything in this form because I do not know. And it is the reason why we use lawyers who are versed in these matters to do these filings for you on your behalf. Okay, so this is the almighty Form I-140. Now let's go back to the slides. No, this time let's go to the okay, so let's go to the Wikipedia page. Form I-140. So that is the form. And on Wikipedia, it tells you everything. Well, most of the things, the non-technical part. Reasons for filing Form I-140. Form I-140 is required for EB categories. So EB green card holders, EB1, EB2, and EB3. For EB4 and EB5, forms I-360 and Form 526 are used respectively. These categories were introduced as part of the Immigration Act of 1990. My brothers and sisters, if by now you do not know the type of visa we are filing for you, you have no business being here, because it's something we have said over and over and over and over again. So if you do not know what visa we are filing for you until now, I am sorry, you are in the wrong forum. Now, the following is a list of all the reasons, also known as petition types, for filing from I-140. For petition type, or the reason for filing, an alien of extraordinary ability will file, that person must file for EB1. And that person do not need a labor certification for the Form I-140 to be filed. The second category of people are an outstanding professor or researcher. They also fall under EB1 and is not labor certification based. A multinational executive or a manager, EB1, is not labor certification based. So these three categories of people, when they are filing under EB1, when their employers are filing under EB1, they don't first go through the PERM. They file straight away the I-140. Then the second group, EB2, a member of the professions holding an advanced degree, a bachelor's degree, with minimum of 5 years work experience, post-bachelor's degree, or an alien of exceptional ability who is not seeking a national interest waiver. They file under EB2, but for them, they require PERM. So it's labor certification based. So they must start their process just as you did with the US Department of Labor. Okay. Then the next one, a professional at a minimum possessing a bachelor's degree or a foreign degree equivalent to a US bachelor's degree. That person falls under EB3 and it is PERM based. In other words, you must start from the US Department of Labor just like you. A skilled worker requiring at least 2 years of specialized training or experience, EB3. Any other worker requiring less than 2 years of training or experience, EB3. An alien applying for national interest waiver who is a member of the profession holding an advanced degree, or an alien of exceptional ability, EB2, and it is not PERM based. So by now, you should be seeing which category you belong to and why we needed to start filing for you from the Department of Labor. Now, at this point, you must begin to see that the process we are embarking for you, you must trust the process. You must trust the process, because when you did not even know this, we knew it, and we knew the right process, and we started from the PERM, Permanent Labor Certification for you. So please trust the process. The filing details starts with an initial evidence. I'm just going to read a short portion of it. The Form I-140 petition must be accompanied by what is termed initial evidence. This evidence depends on the type of employee being sponsored. But for instance, in some cases, it includes an award given to an employee or a publication by the employee that certifies they are someone of extraordinary ability. In many cases, part of the initial evidence is a permanent labor certification, and that is where you fall in, which establishes, among other things, that there are insufficient workers in the US to fill the position the alien you plans to take. In cases where a labor certification is required, the petition is said to be labor certification based. In labor certification based petition, a permanent labor certification must be filed and approved by the Department of Labor before Form I-140 can be submitted. It is possible to establish a successor in interest relationship between a successor employer and predecessor employer, in which case a predecessor labor certification can be used. But in your case, it does not apply to you. So then there is general evidence. All these are just filing modalities, addresses, filing fees. I want to talk about filing fees. The fee for filing Form I-140 is $715, and it must be payable in US currency to the US Department of Homeland Security. There is also a $2,800 fee for premium processing. However, this fee does not include one. In the case the beneficiary is already in the United States, the fee for Form I-485 filed separately, that can range between $750 to $1,140, must be paid, plus $85 for the biometric. Now, in the case the beneficiary is not in the United States, in your case, the immigrant visa application processing fee that is after May 2015 is $325, in addition to the $715 and $2,800. How much money have you paid me to be spending this on you? So from now onwards, I don't want to hear from anybody. In the case the beneficiary is not in the United States, the $220 USCIS immigrant fee, which is needed to process the immigrant visa packet and produce and send to the applicant the green card. So aside the $350, there's another $220 we need to pay for the green card packet itself. When the green card is approved, you need to receive the card and the packet, and it costs $220. So let's calculate. Those who have calculators, 220 plus 325, how much is that? I'm taking my calculator. Oh, I have an on-screen calculator. 220 plus 325, which is 545. Add that to 715, so plus 715, which is $1,260. And then when we are filing premium processing for you, plus $2,800. How much is that? $4,060. $4,060. And that is just for you, one person. Multiply by the number of people on your page now. Okay. Then premium processing, what is it? The USCIS, okay, the Immigration Service offers a premium processing service at an additional fee of $2,800 for Form I-140 petitions. Premium processing is only available for this form and the Form I-129 non-immigrant worker. A premium processing service promises an initial review from the USCIS within 15 calendar days of receipt of the form, after which time it may be approved deny or issue a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny. Immigration Service will refund the premium processing service fee if the processing takes longer than 15 days. If the fee is refunded, the related case will continue to receive expedited processing. The time begins from the receipt of Form I-907 when the case goes beyond 15 days and the associated fees. The premium processing service was introduced in 2001 for Form I-129 and extended to I-140 in 2006. Premium processing does not guarantee a final adjudication. It only provides a time limit for initial review of the petition. In other words, a 15 calendar day guarantee is only for the initial review of the petition, which may result in an approval, denial, or the issuance of request for evidence or notice of intent to deny. I want you to, in your own spare time, continue reading. Benefits of having an approved I-140 petition. Hallelujah. Your I-140 petition has been approved. Your spirit is already in the US. Okay, so I just need you to read the rest. You get it. The processing time and everything. Some good information is here. Okay, some very good information is there. There are related links. You can take your time to read. It gives you a clear, concise picture of where we are going next. And most importantly, how you must behave from now onwards. Okay. And so on and so forth. Although I'm criticizing you, I must also commend most of you. Aside a few handful of people who make noise on the page, and whom very soon I will start disciplining. The rest of you have been very quiet. If you need clarification, you contact directly, matured, civil manner, and I commend you for that. You must begin to see that the workload is not a joke. And we need level-headed people to help us make it work. It is a novelty, what we are trying to achieve. It's a novelty. And we are praying the day comes, you begin to fly out of Ghana on the program. You get to the US, you begin to see the benefit, and then you count your cost. There you see that, hey, some crop they are deal with. All right, let's go back to the presentation. And please don't complain. I warned you that it's a lot of information before we started. It's the reason why I splitted it the last time and this time. Now, you remember at some point in time, we started IELTS classes. And some of you, the time is 9. For a US visa screen requirement, and I have explained in countless Zoom meetings what the visa screening is and who does it and how it is done. So I'm assuming you know already. So for US visa screen requirements, a passing IELTS score typically involves an overall band score of 6.5 for registered nurses and 6.0 for nursing assistants, with a minimum of 7.0 in the speaking test for registered nurses and 6.5 in the speaking test for nursing assistants. Now, some sources may also specify a minimum of 6.5 in overall section reading, writing, with others require 7.0 in listening and reading. But in our case, we had made it clear to you from the beginning what we want. Now, the overall band score, the overall IELTS band score should be at least 6.5 for RNs, 0 for CNAs. Speaking section, the minimum of 7.0 is required, the speaking section, and the other section, some sources specify a minimum of 6.5 and so on, but we require 6.0, 6.5 for RNs and 6.0 for CNAs. Visa screen requirement. The visa screen certificate is a credential evaluation service primarily used by healthcare professionals seeking to work in the United States, like you. As an international registered nurse and a CNA dedicated to taking their career to the US, you probably already know that to live and work in the United States, you will need to pass and approve English exams before your US visa can be issued. If you don't know it, you are hearing it today. So, to cut a long story short, we began IELTS training as soon as the first batch completed and wrote their final exams. We waited for, I think, 3 months and we started IELTS class. We have been on it. We have organized trial tests, IELTS trial tests, at least 3 trial tests with the British Council in Ghana. And the last one was taken somewhere February and March 2025. And oh, by the way, those who took the IELTS trial test, I remember Vivian and then a couple of you, not many of you this time got a chance. But those who took it, the in-person one, those who traveled to Accra, the British Council, and Kumasi to take the test. Japan, what's your first name? Japan, Jessica's brother, bring your first name. Oh, come on. Japan and the friends who took the trial test in Kumasi, Vivian who took it in Accra. Let me see, Japan has brought his name. Bright, yes, Bright. When they finished and they sent me the test result, it was a pass. In fact, a trial test. I wish it was the main test, the real test. But it was good. It means what we taught, what we've been teaching has sunk in and is producing results. And we're going to use the same format. You take the trial test, when you pass, we are sure you're going to pass the main test before we start spending money on you. Because initially you thought, yeah, now you are beginning to see it was nothing. So before we start throwing money and you going to waste, and then you come and tell 9 stories, concocted stories, you have to first pass the trial tests. When we come back, we're going to organize trial tests with the British Council, and then maybe with IDP, and we'll see what will happen. So monitoring the performances, almost all those who participated in the last trial test had the required band score, but it was only a trial test. The next step is to now prepare and take the final test. All those whose PERM has been approved must prepare now for the final test. Now means now. Don't come and ask me, say, when? When? Now. In pre-yara. Okay, so that is the trial test and the IELTS. The next is to spend some time to talk about the Reliance program. In fact, most of you totally forgot about it. That among the fees you paid, you also paid for a certain program called the Reliance program. It is on the breakdown of fees. So essentially, you have paid or are paying for it. The Reliance program. Reliance is a learning platform that provides online training, assessments, and analytics for various industries, particularly healthcare in the United States. It offers accredited online courses, accredited, underlined, bold, highlighted, accredited online courses in the US, and training solutions developed by subject matter experts, trusted over 5,000 healthcare organizations worldwide. Reliance is an affiliate of another company, a large mass media company in the US, who give access to a wide range of resources. So what it is, it's an online platform. Reliance provides a variety of online courses and training materials that can be accessed remotely. For healthcare focus, Reliance's learning solutions are heavily focused on the healthcare industry with courses tailored to specific needs of healthcare professionals and organizations. So we have specific courses you will be taking. Subject matter expert. The content on the platform is developed and written by experts in their field. So when it comes to nursing, the content is written by professional nurses and so on and so forth. Accreditation. Reliance courses are often accredited, meaning that they meet certain standards and are recognized for continuing education purposes. All nurses here, you know what continuing education is, continuing professional development is. Teachers, these days, you're also taking CPD. Every profession has a program where for you to renew your license, every profession that carries a license, for you to renew your license, you are required to take some specific CPD accredited training that will ensure that you continuously maintain your license and are abreast. Rita Adi, CPD for license renewal. Nicely captured, Rita. So nurses, you know what that is, CPD for license renewal. See, this is what we are doing. Having passed your final CNA exams, a certificate was issued, not to you yet, but we use that certificate plus all the other certificates and filed your PERM with the United States government. The United States government have reviewed and have approved, have started approving the PERMs. What it means is your CNA exam certification is now approved. You are entitled to a license. The day will come when you get to the US. Somebody will ask you, yes, you took a CNA course, you passed, we need to license you. You receive your license in the US. But you need to provide proof that from the time you pass your CNA exams, you waited for your PERM, you waited for your I-140, you waited for visa to fly to the US, settle down, and so on and so forth. It's going to take a while, maybe 1-2 years, before you really start working with the license or the CNA training in the US, not in Ghana, in the United States. So the question will be, all this while, what have you been doing with that training? Haven't you gone stale? So we need to provide evidence when you get to the US before we can get you a license. Among the documents we need to present, one is a valid IL test result that is not expired. Two, CPD approved CPD training certifications. That proves that you have been keeping abreast with recent developments in the healthcare industry in the US, nursing practice, nursing profession in the US, and so on and so forth. In Ghana, most of you can sit behind your computer, do some fichi thing, you go and get your NMC license renewed. In the US, oh, it's a big deal. And since we don't want you to begin to have problems with the US government even before you got there, right from day one, we added Reliance to your program. You didn't know what it was meant for. Now you know. Okay. So we collated some information from you, and all of you had completed the form. We have sent it to the US. They are going to go through it, especially those whose payments are in good standing. You begin to receive emails after you have been set up. After you have been set up for you to be set, after you have been set up on the Reliance program, for you to start your program. It is remote based, it's online, it's just like the online course you did for the CNA program. But this one, it is more rigorous, more challenging, and it is more US nursing. There are a couple of videos I want to share with you. I have a couple of videos on the Reliance program. I just need you to pay attention.
Go over everything you need to know to get started with learning on the Reliance platform. Reliance is a web-based learning platform, so you'll need to be on a steady internet connection.
Okay, so I just played a portion of an audio recording. Did you hear it? If you heard it, type yes. If you did not hear it, type no, so that I know I need to fix my machine. Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you for the confirmation. So I'm going to start. I am going to start.
Welcome to the Reliance Quick Start Guide, What You Need to Know. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know to get started with learning on the Reliance platform. Reliance is a web-based learning platform, so you'll need to be on a steady internet connection. For best results, we recommend accessing Reliance using a desktop or laptop, using an up-to-date web browser like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer version 11 or later. If you're using a mobile device like a cell phone or a tablet, you'll want to use the free Reliance app to access your courses, as mobile browsers are not supported and can cause some issues in performance. However, not all modules are accessible in the mobile app. To access your Reliance Platform Learning account, go to your organization's website by typing the URL in the address bar of your web browser. For example, your organization's name .training.reliancelearning.com. For this example, my organization name is yourorghere.training.reliancelearning.com. Then we'll hit enter, and that'll take us to the specific login page for your organization. If your organization allows for it, you can also log in at the universal login page, login.reliancelearning.com, or you can navigate from reliance.com. From reliance.com, you would go to Login, Reliance Learning Login. On the universal login page and on the Reliance app, you may be asked for your organization ID to make sure that it's pulling up the correct profile with the correct organization. If you aren't sure of your organization ID, either reach out to your administrator or check out our video on how to log in Organization ID. From the login screen in your web browser, you can also make sure that the software you're using meets the platform system requirements by clicking View System Requirements. Once you log into Reliance, you'll be logged into the highest level permissions you have. Everyone has a learner role in Reliance, and that's the role that you'll use to complete all of your course assignments. If you don't see the learner view when you log in, Check in the upper right corner below your name and select Learner from the drop-down next to the person icon. If your organization has enabled gamification, this is the dashboard you'll see when you log in. You'll see your crest, your total coins earned, and access the store to redeem coins for seals and gift seals to others. You'll also see your upcoming assignments, which will show the modules you have due the soonest. You can go to take your courses from here, or you can click to see the full list and assignments to view all your assigned courses. Clicking this here will take you to the Assignments tab, or you can click the Assignments tab from the navigation pane over here on the left. The Assignments page is the main screen you'll use for accessing training in Relias, and if your organization does not have gamification enabled, this is the page you'll be brought to when you log in. From the Assignments page, you can see a learning summary, which is where you can print your complete transcript, your learning and current training, and your transcript of completed training. The Learning tab Current Training shows any assigned and elective coursework you haven't completed yet. Your current training may be grouped into training plans, which are groups of trainings put together and assigned to you by your organization. Depending on the defaults your organization has chosen, this list will either display by default with your courses organized by the training plans they are in, or in just a list of all the courses. If your organization has allowed the option, you can toggle between the two displays by clicking these icons up here. This one will toggle it to just show a list. This one will show it grouped by the training plans that are assigning it. Now, to take a course, you can either click on the title of the course here, or you can click the button over to the right of the course that'll either say.
Okay, so this is quite a detailed presentation. They said it's quick start, but it's a bit detailed, and there'll be time for that. Now, just to let you know how widely Relias is used in the US. Oh no, there's a long video.
Hey team, it's Megan.
It's a very long video. I'll share some videos. I'll share some videos on the page on the Relias program. But at least by now, you should have visited their website. Just do a cursory reading of what they are, what they are about, and what to expect on the Relias program. Now, there's not going to be any teacher. Hey, have you done your Relias program? Have you submitted your assignment? Today you have to do midterm 1, midterm 2. No. This is where, on this course, if you are disciplined, we will know. If you are lazy, we will know. If you are full of excuses, we will know. Because here, you do your independent study, independent assignment, and so on and so forth. And where there are delays, and where there are non-submission of assignments and non-doing of your coursework, oh, it will be waiting for you at the appropriate time to deal with you properly. All right. So that is about it on the Relias program. I think I've exhausted all my points for today. So I'm going to pause for questions. If you have any, I'm going to unmute my microphone. I'm going to unmute your microphones so that if you have any questions, you ask them. You first need to raise your hand, and then you ask your question. Before then, there were a few questions in the chat. Let me deal with it quickly. Okay. Okay, so this patient says, I want to suggest if you can all please tap on our names to rename. Oh yes, that is so true. I see people with iPhone and some funny names. you need to start working on that. You just need to tap on your name and type your correct name. Simple way so that it helps identifying you. To stop identifying iPhone. So E-Man. Okay, so E-Man has a question. Sir, is United Nursing Services LLC the same as United Methodist Homes and Services, please? And the answer is yes. Then Abdullah Esther Rabia to please help me get my new case number. I only saw the new case date. All right. Sir, please, you did not talk about IELTS. Oh, I just did. Yes, somebody responded. A whole lot was said about IELTS. And Nancy says, please, since we are going to do the Reliance program on our own, when should we start? Oh, you're going to receive an email. And the email will come independently. I will not, this time I'm not going to be able to tell you, oh, Deborah Dankwa, check your mail, an email has been sent to you. No. Now you are matured, you are on your own. So if you not check your mail, especially your spam, and since it's the first time they're going to send your email, it's likely it is resting in your spam. And the thing about spams is when they send you an email and it goes and lands in your spam, in 30 days, your web server automatically deletes the mail in your spam. I'm expecting an email. Especially those of you who have the habit of checking your mails on your phone. When an email is sent and it goes into your spam, you will not get an alert on your phone. So you have to make conscious effort to regularly log into your mail, keep checking your mail. The same way when the form I-140 is filed, you will be using your personal email. You will receive an email directly from the U.S. Immigration Service. When they will send it, I do not know. United Methodists do not know. So those of us who have the habit of checking our emails like the way we go to church only on 31st night, you have something else coming for you. You must check your mail at least 3 times a day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. And don't check on the phone alone. Check on a laptop or on a desktop. And when you check, remember to check your spam and your junk mail. Okay. Then how long would the course take? I mean the duration. You're going to do it until you get to the US. There are portions you will even be doing when you get to the US. And there are portions you need to complete before leaving for the US. All right, now let me unmute your microphones so that you can ask your questions. I can see some hands up already. So who is Natural Gift? Who is Kiki Mail? We just said tap on your name and change. Oh my gosh. Okay, Natural Gift, ask your question. Hello, Natural Gift. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Dave. Good afternoon to the house. Please, I wanted to ask, when it comes to the visa bulletin and going to the embassy, are we going with our families together? Then after the visa, they wait when we go, then they join us, or we will go and they will go for their visa screening differently? Thank you.
You're welcome. So when it comes to visas for your family, that is a totally different process. And we have not discussed visas for your family here. and there will be an appropriate time to discuss it. But these are the key points. One, you should know that once your Form I-140 is approved, we'll begin to start filing for your family's Form 1I-40. They also need to file the same forms, and then later the green card filing. It is after the green card filing before they will go for visa interview. By that time, most likely you have your visa or you are just ready to get your visas. But when you go for your visa interview, in fact, when we are filing for your Form I-140, we'll come back to you for some information on your family. So if at this time you don't have passport for your family, you are in trouble. If you don't have birth certificate for your family, you are in trouble. Make sure you get it done for them. But very soon we'll come to you. Marriage certificate, birth certificates for you, your spouse, and your children, and then passports. And then we add all that to the filing. So the US government knows that when you approve the Form I-140 for natural gift, who has one husband and then 20 children, we need to provide for 22 visas for that family alone. So it's already known. So when you are going for your visa interview at the US Embassy, the US Embassy already knows that once they approve a visa for natural gift, they need to set aside 21 other visas for natural gift family. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Kiki Mel.
Yeah, hello, sir. Please, good afternoon. Hey, good morning, rather.
Good evening.
Okay. Sir, please, my question is about the premium process.
Yes.
Because during your teachings, you said that the priority date does not change. And I want to know why the premium is being done after all the payments of $2,800 and over. What does it actually do? Does it move you forward in the queue? Does it change your priority date, or what does it actually do? Because if you are paying all this money and still you are maintaining your priority date, does it have any specific importance apart from the 15 days calendar change, calendar approval that they will give to you? Does it hold any special significance in terms of the priority date? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. I think I answered that question in the presentation. However, I know this is the first time, so it is really too much information. It's going to take some time to sink in. So you go back to, I probably should post the link to the Wikipedia on the page. I-140. I have posted it on the page. So I have posted the link on the WhatsApp page, so all of you will have access to it. Take your time and read the answer to the question, what is the purpose of the premium processing? Is in there. If I could read it, that portion quickly, where's premium processing. It says, okay, premium processing does not guarantee a final education. It only provides a time limit for initial review of the petition. In other words, the 15 calendar day guarantee is only for initial review of the petition, which may result in approval, denial, or the issuing of a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny. So this is what the premium processing does. It fast-track, honestly, it fast-track the approval process of your Form I-140. Okay, it fast-track the approval of your Form I-140. If there is no retrogression, as soon as the Form 1 I-1, there's no retrogression, as soon as Form I-140 is approved, we file for green card, and then, the green card is called the immigrant visa. And then immediately you go for your visa interview and you are gone. In a matter of 6 months, 8 months, you are gone. But because of retrogression, now you have to form the queue, use your priority date, and be checking visa bulletin every month to see when your priority date become current. Then you file the net, and the rest, you go for your visa interview, and then you are gone. But you take your time, you will come and appreciate it as you go along. This thing has been around for hundreds of years or so. All right. Let's see. Judy Stevens, your hand is up.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir David. Yeah, good morning.
Good evening.
Oh, okay. Concerning what our sister asked about the premium visa, I was asking that since it's a premium, in my view, I was thinking like premium is something that is going to fasten your visa process, as in the express. So I wanted to ask about the premium. If we file for the premium visa, is it going to increase is it going to fasten the visa process? Because I learned there is a lot of backlog. And then I've been hearing that there's a lot of backlog at the US Embassy in Ghana. And if you want to apply for visa, you should apply nearby countries, as in the African countries, Cote d'Ivoire or Burkina Faso or something. So I wanted to know how true is that.
Okay. I think the first part of the question I've answered it, you were not paying attention. So I posted a link on the page. Just read, you understand what the premium processing is and what it actually means. Now, the second part of your question, you said we've been hearing there's a backlog at the US Embassy. Now, that is a blank statement. The US Embassy issues hundreds of different types of visas. Which of them is facing the backlog? Is it immigrant visas or non-immigrant visas? And I have once taken my time to explain the difference between the two, immigrant visas and non-immigrant visas. Now, for all of you here, the visa you take to the US is immigrant visa. Immigrant visa. With that, you don't even book your own visa appointment date. When your visa bulletin is announced and your priority date become current, you will be there, you receive an email or a phone call from the US Embassy. Judy Stevens, we have a visa ready for you. You must come for your visa interview for your immigrant visa. And when you are going, when you are coming, go to so and so laboratory to do the following medical examinations and bring the results along. You also bring along, I think, $460 for your visa fees. Okay, so you go for the interview and Your visa interview lasts no more than 5 minutes. You are done, gone. Because before you get there, your PERM certification is already there at the embassy. Your Form 1 I-140 approval is already there. Your visa screen certificate is already there. Your IELTS results is already there. They have every information on you. They just want to establish that, yes, Judy Stevens is in fact the Judy Stevens whose application has been approved and not an imposter. 2, there are no medical conditions that will prevent you from going to the US. We have had these discussions already. I'm not going to repeat them. Once they are satisfied with that, in 5 minutes, before you get there, they know everything about you. Your appearance, how you should look, everything. Of course, we'll coach you. We'll coach you very well before you go for that interview. Once you pass, a visa is issued and you are gone. Judy Stevens, if you are listening to my presentation earlier, I said the immigrant visa is an allocated visa. Every year, the United States government allocates a certain number of visas for immigrant visa. And I know for CNAs, it's $700 for Ghana per year. But for registered nurses, I think it's 3,000 plus for registered nurses for Ghana. And so, and I have explained it is for you, your dependent, and everything. And it is country specific. So this is not the type of visas. It's not like the non-immigrant visa where you can go to a neighboring state, a neighboring country like Cote d'Ivoire, like the rumors you have been hearing. Those rumors are for the visiting visas, the visiting visa people. In Ghana, when they hear US visa, all they know is visiting visa. There are different kinds of visas. The visiting visa is just limited. You are non-immigrant, you can stay there for maximum 3 months. When you stay there beyond that, a certain group of people called ICE will come and ICE you out of the US now. So for immigrant visa, there's a specific allocation and it is specific for a country. So if you have a Ghana passport and you go to, say, Cote d'Ivoire for an immigrant visa interview, it is impossible. Unless you are residing and working there, you have a valid visa living in Cote d'Ivoire, and you have the US Embassy called you or sent you an email and said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a Ghanaian, I'm not in Ghana, I'm in Cote d'Ivoire, or I'm in UK, or I'm in the Saudi Arabia, like my nurses. And so I cannot fly back to Ghana for my interview. I want to have my interview here. That is the only time you're permitted to do an immigrant visa outside your country. But the visa quota is the one for Ghana. They will not say, assuming Cote d'Ivoire has also 700 visas for CNAs. assuming Cote d'Ivoire has 700 visas for CNAs, and there aren't any recruitment agency recruiting CNAs there. So there are a lot of visas available. Then you go there and say you are going to have your immigrant visa interview there. No, it will not happen. Your visa interview is Ghana. In the same way, when you are currently residing in, say, UK or Saudi Arabia as a Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian passport holder, we use your Ghana passport to file the petitions for you, PERM, green card and everything. When they are going for the visa interview, you will be going on the accord of Ghana quota, not the UK quota or Saudi Arabia quota, although you are living there. I hope you understand it. All right.
Yes. And sir, please, my last question about the spouse, our spouse. Assuming when we started the program, someone is not married, and now the person is getting married, can the person still bring the marriage certificate or is too late?
Okay. Probably should type some of these questions and do a question and answer and put it on the website for you. Because this question, I've answered it many, 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 many times before. If you marry today, send us your marriage certificate. If you so wish, we'll file for your spouse too. If you marry tomorrow, send us your marriage certificate. The only time you can no longer send your marriage certificate for us to file for your spouse is when you have left Ghana on the program. You're already in the US. Then your contract with us ends. It's the same way when you deliver. You have not given birth. When you started the program, along the line, you gave birth. To bring the document to file for her. But if you wait until the filing period is over, there's a filing period after your green card is approved. There's a period, a limit of period you need to file. Once you provide the documents, the required document in that period will file for you. Rosalind Amwa, you have the floor now.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, my question is, all that we are talking about, it all boils down to, especially with the green card. That is where some of us have gotten to, the form I-140.
Great.
We would like to know when they will file it, because it seems like it's some kind of queue again. How fast we'll go depends on when we file it. So we want to know when the United Methodist or the agency will file for us.
Okay.
That is my question.
Right. Beautiful question. And when I started talking, I said the lawyers have begun compiling documents again to start filing Form I-140 with the USCIS. A certain set of documents were used for the PERM. Some will be used, but we will need some additional information. I'm just waiting to hear from the lawyers. And you know, it's the same lawyers who are filing your PERMs too. And you see how some of your colleagues are impatient to have their PERM confirmation letters. So very soon we'll hear from them, and then we'll send you the documents, the list of requirements, which I know most of you already have. It's just a few you may add, plus your email, and then a confirmation of a current address. There should be a form for you to sign. I'm not sure how we're going to go about it. We'll figure it out. So pretty soon, trust me, we are discussing it seriously here. Okay. So very soon you'll hear from us. But when we file, yes, there's a queue you will join. But that is why I try to explain the meaning of the queue this time. When we file your Form I-140, your priority date will not shift from the PERM priority date to the I-140 priority date. We actually lock in your PERM priority date. So your priority date will still be the one on the PERM, which is good news. You see, because if we should use the priority date of the day we file the I-140, hey, better chance and that will be somewhere 2025. I'm not sure where the visa bulletin is now. I think somewhere 2022 or 2021 or 2023. I'm not sure. I need to check. Okay, so just be patient. We'll get there. Okay, just want to be sure everybody is going through the process. Now, one final thing I want to talk about briefly, and it's your contract, your medical examination and your contract. We still have a lot of you who are here to go for your medical exams. Hey, they said, I wanted to say a proverb, I have forgotten. My dear, if you have not done your medical examination, please advise yourself. It be US in China. All right. And then when it comes to the employment contract, you remember I personally met some of you to sign the employment contract, especially the first 50 people. I'm sorry, we have to do the whole thing again. The contract has not changed, but the lawyers, United Methodist lawyers, from previous painful experience of nurses they have recruited to the US and their behaviors when they arrive, certain measures have been put in place. So they are going to have a one-on-one interview with you, not an interview, an orientation with you on the contract. They are going to painstakingly go through the contract with you, word, line by line, just as I did. They're going to do the same things with you. This one is a proper lawyer. I am not a lawyer. And after that, you're going to sign in the lawyer's presence, or they give you time to sign. Then after that, you are going to notarize. You're going to give it to a notary public, another lawyer, a law firm in Ghana. These are specialized lawyers to notarize your contract for you. Now, that contract you sign on the day of your visa interview, you must carry an original copy of that contract to the US Embassy. More mustn't sign a contract, not watching in money. You need to have that contract ready. The signed one, and not the next one you're going to sign. You sign, keep it safe, clean, untouched, because you're going for your visa interview at the US Embassy. The US Embassy will ask for that contract. Okay. Rosalind is the last person to ask a question. Now Dorothy's hand is up. Dorothy, you are the last person to ask a question.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Sir, please, I wanted to ask that with what you said, does that mean that those of us who weren't able to sign the contract do not have to fear anymore, since the contract, we would have to sign it again with the lawyers after the one-on-one orientation?
That's exactly what I am saying. Thank you so much for summing it up beautifully for me. So whether you have signed already or you are yet to sign, don't worry. We are all going to sign again. They say the one I did, because it is not a lawyer, not a learned person. They want learned people to do it. Razak Sule, your hand is up. What's your question? Razak Sule, your hand is up. What's your question? For the last time, Razak Sule, your hand is up. What is your question? All right, Razak doesn't have a new question. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Hope you have learned something. That's a learning
Good
process.
afternoon, sir.
I hope.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes, sir. Please, this is Razak. My question is to get a clarification on what is meant by a PERM approval. Like the last time, those of us who saw our names as the latest names included my name, Razak Sulenad. I do not know what the approval means. What is it? I know there's a certified PERM that the person has gotten a PERM. So the approval, because I'm asking this because you said all those whose PERMs have been approved should get ready for IELTS exams now. So I wanted to know if you can throw a little more light on the approval of a PERM, please.
Approval means it is certified.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, approval means it is certified.
Okay. All right, sir. All right. But then I've not received anything in my mail. Like you said, you'll be sending our approval to our mails. I've not received any such thing.
I never said I'll be sending any approvals to your mails.
Okay.
I have never said that.
Oh, okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
If you don't pay attention, you hear half stories. I have never said anywhere I'm going to send any approval to you. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Quick one. And who is Addo-Yobo?
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good evening.
Yes.
Said.
Sorry?
Evelyn.
Okay.
I was asking, I want to ask if this was so
Evelyn, I'm sorry, your line is bad. I cannot hear what you are saying. Please type your answer in the chat.
Okay.
The line is choppy.
Okay. I've already typed it.
Okay. Who is Addo-Yobo?
Sir David,
Yes.
I'm Addo-Yobo.
Okay. Addo-Yobo,
Yes,
you have a student called Addo-Yobo. What are you doing?
So my wife is Dorothy Vante.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for the information and all the things you are doing to
You're welcome.
in facilitating a program. I just want to just get a quick one. From where we've gotten to now, the timelines. I know you are not in control of some of the things like you've mentioned, but can you suggest some timelines? So the reason I'm asking is, when we started these processes, some people wanted to get married, some wanted to go to school, some wanted to give birth and all those stuff. So it's kind of maybe we have been hanging in there. If maybe timelines can help, then those of us maybe want to get pregnant, we can get pregnant, or those who want to go to school before maybe the time proper comes to can decide on that. This is just something I'm asking. Thank you.
Addo, thank you for that question. And I think, a number of you have gotten in touch privately to ask such a question, and I've tried to answer it. First of all, we are only recruiting you. We don't control your marriage life, or to get married or to give birth and so on. It's entirely your decision. We cannot control those things here, and we cannot control those things when you get to the United States. the land of the free. However, we also appreciate that certain events, when they take place at the wrong time, can interfere with some of the processes, especially when your Form I-140 has been approved, you are going for a visa interview and you are heavily pregnant. However, I cannot give you timelines yet until we have locked in your priority date. And what that means is when we have filed your Form I-140. Once we do that, we can fairly estimate exactly when you are leaving Ghana for the US. But until then, I want to encourage all of you, those who want to get pregnant, please do it now. Those who want to give birth, please do it now. Those who want to go to school, go to school. However, for school, listen carefully, for school, your schooling should be focused on the United States, your future country. The courses you can do in universities and schools in Ghana, you can get the same things to do in the US online. And the certificate you will obtain from that program will even help you very well when you get to the US eventually. Than when you do a schooling, Ghana-focused schooling, you go to a Ghana university, get a Ghana education, you get there and it is not valid. You cannot use it. Most of our nurses have certificates. It breaks our heart. There's things we cannot say publicly. There are nurses with psychiatric nursing, community health nursing, midwifery, and so all this permutation of nursing. When you go to the US, we do credentials evaluation, and the feedback we get from the US is this is a Ghana specific program or a Ghana specialty course, and it has no comparable course in the US. So if you are doing any, I'm sorry, excuse me. If you are doing any further education or further training, let it be alongside general nursing. And it should be US focused university or US university or US school. So that when you get to the US, the certificate, the credentials you receive will be valid and relevant in the US for you. If you do Ghana program, you get there and it will not be valid. So those who have not gone to school or are aspiring to further education, please do it now, start now. You are desiring to go to school, start now. If you have not started then. Those who ask privately, I answered, they have started already. But do it a US focus. Every course you can think of, you can get its equivalent in the US. And do a course that will be relevant to you when you arrive in the US. That is all I'm saying. So that even when you do a US online program, when you start and you don't finish now, and the time has come for you to leave, you get to the US, you continue and finish. Okay? So, those who want to bond. Those who want to marry, please marry. Don't waste time. Okay. On this note, I thank you very much. Where we have reached, the questions are going to be repetitive. Answered most of your questions. and we have had a wonderful time. Please read. I have another meeting to attend. We'll do another meeting very soon. Those whose PERMs are outstanding, please be assured we are working on them. I'm praying before the end of this month, we'll send the last 15 and we'll have finished everybody. We want to make sure before I return to Ghana, I don't owe anybody PERM, so that I have my peace with PERM. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day. My day has ended. Good evening to you all, and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and bye-bye.